go. There we go. Thank you for joining us in our latest GOAT Yoga session. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to America's favorite quality of life improvement podcast. It is the Caliber Corner. It is season 5. It is episode number 272. And we got a fantastic panel joining us this morning. We're going to talk all things ammo related. It's been about a year or two since we've had an ammo discussion. It seems like every couple of years we talk about the state of the ammo address, if you will, about the prices that we're paying in the store and the abundancy or lack of reloading components, and should you buy this gun, should you buy that gun, surplus ammo, because things are really changing. There are some positive signs that things are getting better, but it's one of those things where we just don't know if it's ever going to get back to how it was before, right? And that's something people keep hoping for, but it might be the time to just start buying ammo because prices are about as low as we've seen for quite a while. So before we get into anything, we're going to let the panel introduce themselves. I've got a few quick announcements to make, and then we will go ahead and get started. So joining us down below, we've got Single Shot. Single Shot, how you doing, man? You good?
Oh, we're having a lovely day. It is a nasty winter, heavy snowstorm up here in Maine. It's sloppy, it's messy, it's yuck.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I spent a little time at the house there. I got the driveway all cleared out. Ha ha. Jokes on me.
For a day, right? For a day.
Yeah, for a day. And
Yep.
I did drop a short on YouTube about a really close friend of mine that was an EMT and first responder. He worked for an ambulance company out of Western Mass.
Okay.
Western Pennsylvania, sorry.
Okay.
And he was a sawyer. He had a sawmill, and that was his forte on YouTube was the iron and oak sawmill. So if you guys are interested, drop by his channel and say hello to Deb. That's his wife. She's having it real tough right now. So
what's the channel called so we know where to go?
Iron and Oak Sawmill.
Okay, Iron and Oak Sawmill. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Chuck Rogers, and he was a heck of a guy.
Sounds
59
good.
years old.
Oh, wow.
So,
man, he's not much older than me.
yeah.
I'm getting there, gentlemen. I'm getting there. All right.
I'd like to say good morning to the chat, and everybody take care. I'll be here, but I'm going to be paying attention to what's going on here. She's pretty slick. They got the speed down to 45 here on the interstate.
Oh, dude, you take it easy, man. You just be careful and get to your destination safely. And
I'm no hurry.
get that ammo to Shields for me so that I can get it in stock and go buy it cheap. So that's yep. That's right.
I wouldn't mind doing a load or two like that.
Yeah, no, wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, have to stop there for an hour or two, be required to sit there and look, Yep. All right, man.
Definitely.
Cool. Good to have you with us as usual. And here we go. All right. Also joining us, we finally have a face with a name live. It is Squid Load. He's got this fantastic OD green, John Deere green background going on there. So you got the mil-surp collection groweth, right? So how are you doing today, Squid?
Doing all right. Yeah, I'm in the green room. It's been a long time coming to finally get a studio. I've got some ideas for some things I want to do to it, so I can film videos in here, and it looks a little bit better for when I'm on air. Eventually it'll happen. Everything's just other things take precedent, but I've got a few ideas. Right now it's just this, just throw a couple guns on the bed and call it good. But I've got my own green screen now, so literally, I'm here. I'm here this morning.
So I'm again. Everybody wants to know. Well, what are the plans for the live show? Are you going to make a podcast a regular thing, or is it hard to do with your work schedule and family, or what?
So one of the things I complain about as a panelist about hosts is the ones that have a regular show and then they don't do it. And I get it when you have like a death in the family or the power goes out. That's what happened to me last Saturday. That's why I wasn't on. We literally had no power, so I had no internet. and StreamYard doesn't work well with mobile, so jumping on with my phone was so things like that I get. But when somebody's like, just some of the silly stuff that I've heard hosts say, and it's like, dude, people like watching your show, and I'm not saying I'm going to have like millions of people in my audience or whatever, but I'm just like, practice what you preach. If you're not in a position to commit to a regular schedule, don't promise a regular schedule. And then that's not to say that you're obligated per se or what, but it's just something. So I'm thinking, all right, let me see how this goes before I commit to a regular schedule. And then let me try to figure out what would be, because my schedule changes day to day. Even though I've got a more stable career now, as opposed to that job I used to have.
You should call it the Going Live When I Can podcast.
Yeah, well, I come up with a name for it years ago when I was
Cocked and Lock with Squid Load. We'll get there when we can. Yeah.
Well, when I was going to use this room as my studio, the name I come up with was In the Green Room with Squib. And I don't know if I'll use that, and that's another thing too. I don't want to be changing this and changing, you got the people that change the stuff and people don't know what it is. It's like, what is this? This is the same thing. I just changed a name and abruptly didn't tell anybody. So there's lots of things that I've seen hosts do that I just don't agree with. Now, it ain't my show, so it doesn't really matter what I think. But if I'm going to do some things that the way I want to do it, or the way, not try to do some of the things that have irked me in the past. Yeah. So for right now, if I do live shows, they're not going to be on a schedule. If I make a schedule, I don't know when and how it'll be. But I mean, for example, high school sports, right? When my son starts playing sports again, that's going to compromise my schedule.
Well, and you have districts, then you have state play, which happens whenever it can during the week, and sometimes that interrupts your schedule too. So which it should, but yeah.
So let's say I do, like, I don't know, Mondays at 8, right? And then suddenly sports season hits and now my Mondays are compromised. Well, then why did I commit to that? And I'm not saying changing around. I get it. Life happens. I'm not trying to be too critical. But I just, if I want to do something regular, I want to try to make it as regular as possible and that sort of thing. So I think for right now, if I was to do fill-in shows, right, or after shows, remember when we had the lobbies and it would be going good and then somebody would just open up another one, we'd all just spill over into that.
Yeah, we would spend a whole day just bouncing from lobby to lobby, Yeah.
So
hey, I tell you what,
something like
if you want an 8 a.m. Saturday morning central spot, I'm more than happy to pass the torch and learn how to start sleeping in on the weekends. It's something that probably won't happen until I retire at this point. So I can't sleep in. So that's why you guys are lucky. Me sleeping in is 5:45 a.m. every day. 5:30, I naturally wake up at like 4:50, 4:52 every day. And I kind of lay there till like 5:15 and then I get out of bed and get ready for work. So you guys are lucky that I can sleep in. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening. So my lack of sleep is going to be your benefit. So let's give a shout out there on the YouTube side real quick, and then we'll go ahead and fire up the topic. I've only got about an hour. Today I got stuff going on with family, so we're going to do that. I am going to hopefully get out and get the Beretta A300 Patrol at the range today. Going to do some shooting. I've got like 10 different types of shot shells to run through it. We're going to see what it cycles. We're going to break it in with some high brass buckshot, some fairly quick firing buckshot. And then we'll kind of work our way down the food chain of ammo and see what the Beretta A300 Patrol can cycle. To answer some questions, people are saying, oh, how'd you get one of those? You're lucky. How'd you get one? Who do you know? I don't know anybody. I just put in a request to get one I just filled out an email request for notification for in stock with Frontier Justice in Omaha, and then I got the notification and I bought it. So I had to get it within like the first 10 or 15 minutes because it was going to sell out. Also, I've been telling people over on Gunbroker, some of them are showing up for purchase. There's been 8 Tiger Stripe Beretta A300 Patrols that you've been able to buy for MSRP on Gunbroker. You got to be persistent. You got to check it on a regular basis. And don't get upset if you get the email and you get home and something's sold out. You got to buy it then and there if you want. I've learned that a million times. So that's what it took for me to get the A300 Patrol with the Tiger Stripe finish. Another thing too, Defense Dad and I are going to get together in a week and we're going to hammer out the details of Thunder on the Prairie 2023. We're going to get a spreadsheet posted so that people attending can sign up for a time slot for Sunday if they want to record on the range while we're doing the shooting. We're going to find out the number of zones we have available. So we're going to get all that stuff hammered out and then definitely do a formal post about it. I think we'll make a website for it this time too. Now that we have some media, some footage. Anybody out there that was at Thunder in the Prairie last summer, if you got videos you want to post on it, I'll be able to post those videos for you, like in our media section. Kind of get something out there, because when we go talk to sponsors or people, they're like, well, what can you tell me about the event? What is it? And it's really hard to explain it. Whereas like my little 5-minute summary video shows off what we did that day and what the whole idea was behind it. So for a company, potentially that wants to push a product or advertise, right? Say, hey, this is what we did at Thunder on the Prairie 2023. So it's going to be a gathering of gun tubers where we film and shoot and have a good time and bond and hang out, and a bunch of us get to meet each other for the first time. So it's a lot of fun. That'll happen the first Saturday and Sunday in June. It's $25 a day if you want to go. That just basically covers the range fee. Defense Dad and I don't benefit from this financially at all. We don't get any money from the firearm school where it's going to be hosted. We're just there to volunteer, to help, to organize the fun, and just participate and have a good time. So that's going to be coming up here soon. I'll be doing a Patreon drawing for the month of March. That will happen here soon also. I've got some vacation time coming up here, and I will definitely get out to the range because I've also got that High Point JXP-10 I haven't had a chance to shoot yet. The range is just about dry. It's looking better now, but it was a complete wet nightmare mess last weekend when I was there shooting. The firing lines were iced over. We were trying to walk around and be safe, and it was just not fun. So there's still snow out there and mud. So we will get out to the range as soon as it dries up a little bit. In Nebraska, we just had like 10 inches of snow that melted over the course of the week, and it just left all that crap behind. So I will get out to the range soon. Hopefully I'll have a video to post this Wednesday like I always do. We'll see. As long as I can get my filming on this weekend, then there will be a video on Wednesday. Otherwise, it could be a last-minute thing, okay? So shout out on the YouTube side. We got 500 Magnum, Squid Loads out there, Ozzy Osbourne, Tony York's in the house. Let's see. Freda's out there also, wishing me a happy birthday. Not till Monday, Freda. Not till Monday. I don't age another year until Monday, just for the record. So Kevin Jung's out there. Eduardo Espinosa's there. Bjorn's watching today. 500 Magnum. Kim Williams, my mother, is out there watching. She loves the podcast, by the way. She watches a lot of you guys. That sounds bad. She watches a lot of your channels, just so you guys know. Who else is out there today? Mountain View's watching today. Tony York in the house. Squib Lift, the whole Squib Empire's out there today. Watt75 is with us. I'm out there posting some comments. We also had, let's see, where's he at? M. Gabriel in the house. Kingpin's watching too. So ammo chat, I like to have these ammo chats every couple years, you know. And it's really weird because it seems like a lot of the ammo that I buy has gone back to pre-pandemic prices. And then a lot of the ammo that I want to buy is still expensive. It's anywhere between 30 to 50% more per box than what I was spending. And you can say, well, inflation and supply and demand. But if I'm able to still get some of this other ammo on the cheap, like for the price I paid before, let's just say PMC 62 grain, you know, green tip 5.56. I'm paying the same price for that I paid 5 years ago, right? It's gone back down. So why aren't we seeing this for other types of ammo? What is the reason? What's the deal? Also, we kind of noticed this. We discussed this in the pre-chat. If you're buying 9mm, it's kind of funny that the 124 grain is like cheaper than the 115. And you would think the 124 would cost more. You'd think material costs would be more. I don't know. But it seems like that's the cheaper bulk ammo to buy now. So when you're getting ammo, you really need to look around. I always go to ammoseek.com. I look on there. I did notice that there's a place called Borelli. I'm not endorsed by them, but they do free shipping on, I think, any order, any amount. And so you could get, 1,000 rounds of 124 grain from Borelli for $259 delivered. I don't know what the math is, what that comes out to per case. But right now, locally, I'm looking at paying $14 to $15 a box for 9mm. Everything else goes up above that. 10mm is going to cost me $24.99. 45 ACP is going to cost me $35 for a box of 50. We'll get to reloading. We'll talk about reloading because that is one option that's out there. But I want to kind of pick everybody's brains. What are your thoughts on the current state of ammo prices? Is now the time to buy? Should we never not be buying? Squib, I'm going to start off with you. What are your thoughts on just ammo in general? And I know you and I reload, but just for the average consumer out there, the average guy that buys ammo, what do you think about prices these days? Are we going to hold off? Do you think they're still going to drop or not?
I think prices are going to continue to come down. I mean,
okay.
Look at some things that, like, everybody's complaining about groceries, and groceries gradually went up here. And even though not everything is always in stock every Sunday morning, some of the grocery prices are started to come down around here. Maybe not where you're at. Okay, whatever. Some things are regional.
Yeah, there's always this market pricing, regional market price that people pay for stuff,
Well, yeah. You got the person in Manure Pit, Oklahoma, who doesn't have a grocery store for 3 hours in any direction, and they're going to complain. Well, yeah, but if you live in the suburbs, you got options. And the same thing with guns, right? Somebody will say, I can't get primers, or my ammo is, my 9mm is still $25 a box. Well, where's the nearest Cabela's? 2 states away. Okay, that's why, dude. That sort of thing. So for me, ammo prices are still higher than than before 2020, but they keep coming down. Availability has gone way up. Whenever I see somebody make a comment about, I still can't find 9mm, I'm thinking, where do you live, dude? England? You know,
I can buy it at the local Tractor Supply Company. They got it at the gas station up the street. It's like I can buy it in 5 or 6 places. It might not be the price I want to pay, but it's there.
But if you remember, we were complaining before as you couldn't find it, and then when you found it, it was crazy, stupid expensive.
Yeah, $25. I remember some places were selling it for $49, $50 a box during peak pandemic here in town, here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And that's hey, at least it was available for anybody that needed it. They could get it. You're going to pay those demand prices, you know? Yeah.
And I've seen the prices spike and come down and spike and come down. You know, there's some sort of event that happens and everybody starts panic buying, or there's an election and everybody panic buys, or, you know, we have other things that affect the economy and people panic buy, and you see the demand bring up the price and bring down the supply and stuff. And I've seen it come back. So the prices we're paying right now, as far as I'm concerned, are just like those prices everywhere else or at other times, and I see the prices continuing to come down, the availability continue to come up, and all that. Now you're going to have somebody over there say, well, I shoot 50,000 rounds of 1 caliber a year, so I'm still hurting. For the rest of us,
not so much this guy, but everybody else. My nephew over here, Foos. That's right.
I was not going to say anything, because if you're not prepared by now, it's your own fault.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, you're right. But there's always there's always new gun owners every year. You know, and I know this because I have people that watch my cleaning videos and say, hey, it's my first gun. Thanks for making the cleaning video. You know, it happens daily. But no, I get it. You know, if you don't get it now, I don't know what we can do for you.
And I would say for more of your mainstream calibers, the prices are where they've been multiple times in the past. It's acceptable to most rational people. But I will say this, and Foos and Single Shot will probably understand where I'm coming from. Some of your calibers that are for your mil-surps or things like that, they're making them in small runs, and that's driving up the demand. It's drying up the supply, and it's driving up the price. So like 7.7 Jap is crazy expensive because they're only running a few batches a year, or 1 batch a year, or something like that.
Carcano.
So, the Carcano and other ammo like that. Even some specialty hunting rounds, you're still going to pay crazy stupid prices, or they're just not going to be, 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. It's not impossible to find, but the prices are still high. So if you're looking at it from that rationale, I would say you have a different perspective.
I paid about 60% more for 30-30 right now. Foos, what's your take on the current state of ammo and ammo prices? Is this as good as it's going to get, or what? Do you think we're going to see some more prices drop off?
It's going to come down yet. It's still. I think that the bottom of ammo prices is still 6 to 8 months off. Okay. Because like we all know this, rates are still going up. Cost of everything's still going up. The cost of stuff is not going to come down. Salaries have not matched it. So people are living off of reserves until they don't. And then other, hobby stuff. Because I mean, honestly,
interest rates are up. People are paying more for their
99.9%. What?
Yeah, everything, dude.
Because remember, 99.9% of us, this is a hobby. So this is going to get cut. Shooting's going to go down even more than it already has. And then availability is going to spike. So
yeah, it's just that's the other thing too, and maybe that's why we're seeing so much ammo on the shelves, because people just don't have the money to buy the ammo like they used to, or they don't have the money. It's kind of like the pickup truck analogy. I know that Chevy and I think maybe one other company, they're going to be halting their production of like their Silverados and maybe the Rams because they've got a glut of them sitting on. There's a Ford, because they've got gluts of them in their waiting to ship lots. They've got tons of them on lots. So like you say, well, I see people buying new trucks all the time. They're not selling like they were before because your average dude doesn't have $60,000 sitting around that they can afford to finance. And at today's interest rates,
that's a cheap truck now.
Yeah. Now you're looking at, I think the cheapest Silverado that I could get, 4-wheel drive with a 2.7 4-banger turbo, is $47,000. That's for a base LT. And so
that's more than I paid for my my truck, the FX4.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just prices have gone up on everything across the board. So I would say this, if you need ammo, obviously buy it, but do look around as much as you possibly can, because there's some tremendous differences in price. try to get places that have free shipping, expect to pay sales tax no matter where you go through. And depending on what you shoot, you might just have to pay those prices. And it's a weird time for ammo prices. Like I've been stocking up on 10 millimeter because I've been able to get it because I got that High Point JXP 10. And I bought some Ammo Inc. 10 millimeter that was on sale for $24.99 for a box of 50 rounds of 10 millimeter. I mean, a brass alone makes it worth it. Huh?
50 cents a round, that isn't bad. Because, I mean, you think about in the height of this, height of the availability thing, that's what 9 millimeter was going for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was $40 some a box when it got really bad,
Oh, yeah.
Now, Steve Zero makes a comment, 300 Blackout hasn't gone back down where I want it, but most mainstream calibers are going down in price, though. Yeah, 300 Blackouts running, I think, $1 around here locally. It's $20 a box. Sometimes it's on sale. And again, this is one of those things where if you've never considered doing it before, buy in bulk. Buy in bulk. You do it for your toilet paper at Costco. Do it for your ammunition at home because you will save money if you buy in bulk.
300 Blackout's still a niche round. If you think about it, it's not a common round. It's a common to certain people just because of the platform, but it's not a common round.
I use kind of a stupid gauge as to whether or not something's a common round. I look at how many placeholders it has on the shelves at the store, because like 9 millimeters got 15, 20 different, brands and grain weights, etc. Heck, in Nebraska, 243, 270. Now there's like a dozen different brands you can get. 308, there's a whole 20 different, varieties of 308 you can buy. 5.7, there's two facings of 5.7 you can get, FM or, FN or Federal. 300 Blackout still pretty rare too. I mean, yeah, it's grand. There's a lot of it online you can get, but you're right though. You're not seeing it you're probably less likely to see it if you don't see it at like your local farm supply store. Then it's probably just not a popular common caliber that everybody's shooting right now. So it doesn't help. That doesn't help it. And yeah, you are going to pay a premium for it at almost $1 around. Yeah,
that and the same machines that make 300 Blackout also make 5.56. What are they going to sell more of?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So that's gonna be a huge effect on it. Let's kind of shift the discussion a little bit. Let's talk. So I mean, the one that's been the biggest disappointment out of all the ammo in terms of prices is 7.62 by 39. I had mentioned this a year ago. I said, you're going to see those prices go up now that whole ammo importation ban is happening to any importer. Once their license is expired, they're not getting renewed to import ammo from Russia. So I mean, it's been a while now since I've seen Tula or Wolf just readily available on the shelves, especially in 7.62 by 39. What's really scary is that like I was getting some Eastern European stuff at Shields every week. They were getting Igman or they were getting Bellum or they were getting other brands. And now the 7.62 by 39, unless it's domestically produced, a Fiocchi or a Winchester, I can't find it. There is none locally. So I'm wondering, somebody made that comment about the war on the Ukraine. Is that starting to suck up those supplies of what would normally, why export it when I can sell it locally right next door and make more money?
It's not just that, but a lot of these, like, Bulgaria and some of these former Eastern
the former Yugoslavia nations, a
lot of those are in NATO now.
Yeah,
and with NATO giving aid to Ukraine,
there's
where a lot of stuff from Europe is getting sucked into.
So just in general, is this going to start affecting us on just even domestically produced ammo? Because the ammo companies are now making ammo for export. Here's a comment from Wild Thing. I'm concerned that ammo production for Ukraine will make primers, which are twice the cost they should be, unobtainium again. Do you guys think that's going to happen? Are we going to see powder shortages and primers?
No. Okay, because what happened is during COVID, especially here in the U.S. and possibly worldwide, but I know definitely here in the U.S. because I know of 6 plants that opened for ammo manufacture and 5 just primer manufacturers plants opened up during COVID just to try to get with the demand that we currently have. What's going to happen is since our demand is slacking, all that ammo and all that extra capacity is going to be shipped east and across the pond.
Yeah, I think what we're not going to see though are like those Eastern European primers that we were talking about that were going to be coming over here pre-Ukraine invasion. That was going to be the big thing. We were starting to get shipments of them, and now they're probably not going to come over, or the powder, or the ammo. Yeah,
we're still getting Bosnian primers. We're still getting Turkish primers. Yeah, we're getting Argentine primers. So like 2 of those, Turkey and Bosnia Herzegovina. I think the Bosnian ones will keep coming just because I don't think they're NATO, but Turkey being on the border with Russia may hold that stuff back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I got a fuel, guys. I'll be back.
Okay, single shot. You come back in and let us know when you're back. We're gonna kind of let you chime in on kind of your thoughts on this whole kind of ammo debacle, like where we are and what's going on. So maybe that explains again why I'm not seeing those European imports of 762 by 39, because it was like flavor of the week. Every time I go to Shields, they had a different brand of 762 by 39 in stock, and I was buying it. Now I'm not seeing anything. Maybe some Winchester on the shelf, maybe possibly some Fiocchi or some S&B, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, now I think I want to go down to the local store on the corner here, because when everybody was freaking out going, we're not going to see steel case, or it's going to go through the roof, or we've got to wait for PSA to make it. Yeah, right. Whatever.
They've already mentioned that it will be getting into production soon. It's just their machines are being made for them to produce it, because they know that there's a market for it. And if the Russian ammo ban continues up, you don't think PSA is going to make steel case ammo? They're already doing what, 5.7 and 300 blackout. Why wouldn't they?
So from my understanding, PSA bought a former Eastern Bloc ammo plant to get machines, and they're having machines built off of those.
Okay.
Because to make steel cases, to make steel case stuff, it's similar process to brass, but slightly different.
So here's the thing, guys. I'm looking right now. Okay, I'm looking over on AmmoSeek and trying to some Wolf 762 by 39, $377 for a case of Wolf. And AmmoSeek has the lowest available online prices that it can find. Now I paid $349 2 years ago, and people were ripping on me for Gun Deals when I posted that deal from Classic Firearms, because I got lead core Wolf, really good stuff, steel case, for $249 and then like $20 for shipping, when it was like about $50 or $60 more than it should have been. But now, yeah, almost $400 for just Wolf, guys. I mean, this stuff was $175, pre-Ukraine invasion. So Squid, to kind of go back to what you're saying, you might see it, but like here, like I said, I always use kind of Shields as the gauge, because that's where the majority of our local consumption happens, and it ain't on the shelves. I can find some Wolf 6.5 Grendel and some 762 by 54R Wolf, but that's it. Tula's gone, Wolf is gone.
Well, I have to run some errands today. I might make a stop in at the corner store just to see if they still have it, because like I said, people are freaking out, losing their minds, and they had tons of this stuff, tons and tons of it. And every time I've gone back, they still have tons of it. And that's because the contracts didn't end the day it was.
No, they could last up to a year.
Right.
Depending on when the announcement was made, these are not going to renew. If I just got my renewal that day, I got a year to import, and they could have warehouses full of this stuff, and maybe they're waiting for prices to go up to suddenly start releasing it in the wild. But I don't know.
Or it's just not in your area and it's in other areas. So that's why I'd like to go see. But I will say there's a difference between it not being there or it being there and it's just at a price that you don't want to pay.
Yeah, so if you're finding Tula and they're getting $10 a box for 20 rounds of steel case 762 by 39, then that's why it's not selling. But here, when they were selling it for $6.99 a box, that was okay. That was $2 more than we used to pay, but it's gone, man. It's not there. It's no Red Army standard, nada. Yeah.
It's between $10 and $14 a box here, but there's tons and tons of it, or at least there was. I'll go look. Maybe they finally ran out, because they had all these displays and end caps and stuff where they just got piles of those, right? Yeah. And kind of like just trying to get rid of it, trying to unload it.
Well, I'm just saying, if AmmoSeek is telling me that the cheapest we're going to get it is $377 for 1,000 rounds of Wolf, right? I mean, that's that, and then it goes up from there. It goes up from there. So
part of the reason that I don't see why PSA is going to make this stuff other than for nostalgia. Somebody's going to think they're getting a good deal, or somebody's going to purposely want steel case. But to make steel case ammo in America, when we have all this, it just
because they'll make it and they'll sell it. The thing is, PSA sells a lot of AK-47s, and here's the thing: if you can't get the ammo for it, a lot of people might not buy that firearm. They might look around and be like, I'm not going to pay $20 for a box of 20 rounds of 762 by 39. They've got guns to sell, and they've got guns that need to be fed, just like 5.7. Now that 5.7 is starting to show up more on the shelves, more guys are getting that gun because they can get ammo for it. Right? The ammo prices are a little bit lower than they were before. So I don't know. I just think if you make the ammo for it, it's going to, like if you had domestically produced 5.45 and start pushing those 5.45 AKs as the new big thing, say push them all over YouTube with all these big channels, you're going to see an uptick in demand, and there's going to be a need to fill that demand. So PSA's got nothing to lose by making steel case 762 by 39, especially if you can't get it anymore. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
And the cost will still be cheaper. Is it going to be, Eastern Bloc cheap? No, it's not going to be that, because
and that's what I mean. People are going to see an American steel case price, and they're going to go. I understand there are people that will buy ammo
for $8.99
5 cents a box cheaper.
They'll do for it'll be $8.99. It'll be comparable to 5.56. I guarantee it.
I don't see it being significantly cheap enough to justify even putting it a SKU number in the damn catalog.
Okay, look at Tony's comment though. They do make the steel forged Winchester ammo, and they do sell it at a slightly lower price point than brass. Yeah, Winchester makes steel case 9. No, I don't know what else they make for. They maybe 45 possibly.
Hold on, that Winchester steel case stuff. The steel case are imported from Europe.
Oh, they're not making the steel cases domestically.
No,
the forged or whatever they call it. Okay, and see, Hornady did a limited run not limited, for a couple of years. I've got a box of it still of 762 by 39 with the poly tip that was steel case, and they just happened to get a massive batch of steel case 762 by 39, like pallets of it. So they decided to go and do a run of it, and that's gone, and you can't buy that ammo anymore. So these companies do get it from time to time, but
so if you still have some of that, and you look at the case and you look at that primer is a Berdan primed.
Yeah,
it's Eastern European stuff that they were able to take and ship over, and all they did was put powder and projectile in. The biggest thing with a lot of these like Winchester, Hornady, and stuff like that makes the brass quote unquote hunting ammo, it's the projectile that's costing more. So if you get a way to make that projectile to where the 124 grain projectile in enough bulk to go ahead and get that cost of unit down, that's where your cost savings will be. It's not in the brass versus steel. Now, granted, the whole the whole components for brass, was it nickel and what, bronze? Like we all know nickel's going up because of manufacturing, and I'm sorry, it's copper and nickel, but both those two components are going up for battery usage. So if you can eliminate that will help you in the long run.
So, Squid, what are kind of your thoughts on this? So you don't think that, I'm not trying to have a I gotcha moment, but do you think that, I can see PSA not being in a hurry to do this. Do you think PSA won't be doing 762 by 39? Because I'm looking at articles and there's stuff online that says
if they do it, it's going to be like everything else, and not just from them. Some of these they take forever to do it. And I understand things don't happen overnight in manufacturing. Believe me, when you're developing a car part, you're doing it, anywhere between 5 to 10 years in advance and things like that. There's lots of testing. But other stuff is this is practically off the shelf. Literally buying this stuff. I understand they've got to bring it over. They've got to get the stuff up to speed. They've got to adapt this. They've got to get used to that. There's all kinds of issues. And believe me, when you get foreign crap, you've got to translate. It's a mess. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of things are driven by some marketing guy sitting in a boardroom, not a gun guy, not a reloader, not a hobbyist, not a YouTube channel.
But PSA is a family of gun guys. They know that's why they make the guns so cheap. Yeah, they're in the business to make money, but
you're going to tell me they haven't hired anybody that's.
We've got friends that work for PSA. They're gun guys.
All right, never mind.
Or maybe they just have really good marketers. And that's it. So here's the quote that was made by the CEO of JJE Capital. All right. The company which owns PSA posted the following on air15.com. 762 by 39, 545, and 54R. 762 by 54R will be manufactured in the U.S. under our Soviet Arms brand. This project is a very large construction and manufacturing project that's been going on for about a year. Our current timeline has the first steel case rounds coming off the line in 2023. Of course, any project this large could see delays. We should be able to make up for most of the missing Russian imports. And like I said, I don't see that ban being lifted anytime soon unless Biden reverses it or the next administration that comes in will lift that ban on the licenses. So, but but Squib, I want to get your take on this. So you don't. What are your thoughts on this in general? You think it's just not going to happen or what?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. No, I just thought that, kind of the whole mission behind what PSA has always been about, their founder, they've always had that philosophy of arming Americans at a fair price. I mean, that's always been, to me, granted, they're in a business to make money like anybody else, but they also have what I think are fairly fair prices that any working class individual can acquire. I don't know. I just think that but again, they are just meeting a demand. They're just meeting a demand, or they're just selling something that's hyped up right now, like a 5.7 pistol or whatever. So anyway, so when it comes to all right, so let's kind of shift the discussion a little bit. We did have some comments that popped up out there a little while ago. So first of all, congratulations to Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. I just walked out of Cabela's with a Beretta A300 Ultimate Patrol in gray or tiger stripe. I know that some of them are going to start showing up at Shields here pretty soon. There's only 1,500 of them, and when they're gone, they're gone. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a different production run every year of different colors. Start collecting them like Sky CPX2s or something. But if you go on Gunbroker, they've had them pop up for sale for MSRP of $10.99. And then there are some that people are bidding on, which are going way above MSRP. There's one that's up to $15.25. One guy selling one, buy it now for $2,000. What's that? Gun? The Beretta A300 Patrol with the tiger stripe finish, the shotgun that I bought 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, just because of that limited color. Plus, it's like the one that keeps getting referred to as that sick tiger stripe finish on all the gun channels on YouTube. They keep showing it off and teasing us, and that's creating this demand for it. But no. So anyway, congratulations to you, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. Okay, now let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room here. Reloading. Squib, I'm going to start off with you. Is it worth it to get into reloading these days? What are some of the benefits of reloading?
And
I say this because my how much does it cost to get into reloading 9mm video is still one of my most watched videos. Thanks to you, because of all the stuff you gave me, all that stuff was featured in the video. By the way, people have a lot of good compliments for you on that video. Just thought I'd let you know. But anyway,
I can't stand compliments.
So that's something about gun guys. Like I gave you stuff. Squib gave you stuff. Like if it's stuff that we buy and is sitting around the house and we don't have a use for it, or we like, hey, it could be better used somewhere else with another gun guy, we have no issues of giving it as a very steep 5-finger discount. That's the thing.
And here's the thing now too. I would tell you to get into reloading anyway. There's a lot of reasons you should do it. One, if you got the components, you can make your ammo, and it's not available. So again, while prices were all cleared out during the pandemic, I was sitting there high on the hog, just stamping out 9mm hollow points like it was nobody's business. And I've got the stuff set up to do shot shells. I mean, that's part of it, is you can supply yourself so you can still keep shooting. I've got a gun channel. I need ammunition to run my channel, regardless of what's going on, out in the world and the markets and so on. So, I mean, for me, there's a lot of benefits of getting into the reloading. The first part of it is just, the idea of
think about this,
regardless of price. Yeah.
Think about this. If you're into cars, you're into let's say you're into body work. Well, all of a sudden that body work will become, okay, you're going to get into electrical. You're going to get into mechanics of a motor. You're going to learn everything and do everything around that encompasses that hobby. Shooting is just one part of the firearms hobby. There's reloading, there's smelting, there's, competitions, there's, making Wildcat cartridges. There's so much other stuff out there than just owning and, shooting at the range. It's an all-encompassing thing. The shooting got me into reloading. The reloading got me into the smelting. And each one I look at a separate hobby that feeds into another hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing we mentioned too is, mil-surp ammo is, to me, it's not as common as it has been before. I'm not seeing pallets of 7.62 by 54R, spam cans sitting around, or if you find them online, the prices are crazy, or if there's a particular mil-surp round that you love to shoot through your gun, it's not there. You might be now looking at reloading as an option because you want to keep shooting those guns, or you want to build a stockpile of ammo for that gun. I think of Carcano. Carcano ammo is so hard to find and so expensive. Mm-hmm. If you can get that brass and you can reload it yourself, then you can keep enjoying that firearm, or just have a stockpile of ammo for that gun. Yeah.
Or even another example is the Swiss the Schmidt-Rubin, the 1889s that are in 7.5 Swiss, but the GP90, not GP11 ammo. Well, they haven't made that since the 30s. Yeah. And you can still get the cases because the case is the same as the GP11. It's just underpowered and a heavier bullet, less powder and a heavier bullet. It's really close to the not trapdoor. Oh crap, 30 carbine. I can't remember the gun we had before this '06 Springfield 03.
You mean like the M1 carbine?
No, before that, in the late 1800s.
Oh,
anyway.
Craig Jorgensen.
Oh,
no, older than that. Anyway,
millimeter Lee.
No, it's a 30 caliber, but it's closer to that round. So you can make your own stuff that, okay, the cases are available because it's the same as something else, but I can't find it because it's an old gun. But the guns are still fairly cheap. I mean, you can get a 1889 shipped to your house for a sub $400. And they're beautiful firearms, but to shoot it, you need to hand load your own stuff.
And see, that's another reason to consider getting into reloading. Maybe you want to get into some antique firearms that you want to enjoy, or, just because the ammo is about impossible to find. Another cool thing is you can tailor the loads for whatever you do, for competition, for hunting. Like Foos taught me how to load 308. So we developed, a plinking round that I could also, and then we also developed a hunting round that kind of mimicked the ballistics of the plinking round. So I could plink with the plink stuff cheaper and hunt with the good stuff and have a gun that's still basically dialed in all the time. So there are a lot of reasons to consider getting into it. Now, the big one again is we keep hearing the complaints about primer prices. So Squib, what is the magical secret to getting primers? Because you're able to do it. Give us a little bit of your sage wisdom. What do you do to get primers? How do you find them?
I go down to the corner and buy them.
The corner sporting goods store? The
same place that's got steel case out the wazoo. It's got primers. They've had primers. They had percussion caps when nobody could get percussion caps. Now, granted, these guys are the highest price in the area.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Is what kind of prices? What are we talking
charge
for? Like
the same
1,000
prices. They charge the same prices they did when things were plentiful and cheap. That's the thing. They're the kind of place that you go to if you're in a hurry, or if the mom and pop has crappy hours and then want to complain why they go out of business. So screw the mom and pops.
Closed on Sunday, huh? Okay.
Yeah, we're closed on Sunday. We close at 4. We don't open till noon. It's like, dude, if you're not going to be open 9 to 9 Monday through Saturday and maybe whatever. Anyhow, I go to Bass Pro Shop. They're 15 minutes away. There's a Cabela's 35 to 45 minutes away. There's another one 90 minutes away. The further out I drive, the bigger the stores get, it seems like. If I go 3 hours up north to where some family lives, they've got a sporting goods store that it doesn't have a Ferris wheel like Shields. But, and it doesn't,
no candy store, no fudge store.
But imagine
no
gutting
cafe.
a Kmart. Yeah. Imagine gutting a Kmart and turning it into a gun store. That's what
I'm fine with that.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So when people when people were freaking out, entire families were going up there because they give you like 5 sleeves of primers per person. So you got mom, dad, and 3 kids walking out with 45. 40.
The kid like puts it up on the counter.
Yeah.
And there's no ID check for primers, so he just like puts a 5 up there.
They don't. If you can reach the counter, you can buy it. So
he gets in his Power Wheel and drives out the front door.
Yeah. So, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Stuff dries up. All right. The place where I've seen percussion caps when there weren't any before hasn't had them in a few months. They'll have them again. Because, I was even talking to the guy there, and he goes, "Oh, we haven't had those in 3 years." And I'm like, "BS! I've bought these things multiple times over the past 3 years." Because so that, and I've just wondered if the guy even knew what a percussion cap was. But I'm not saying it's not out there, but it is. It depends on where you live. Rick. From Rick's Life as I See It, he complains, but he lives in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. He's not going to drive 3 hours to Indianapolis.
And the few places that might have it, like Cabela's or Shields, everybody else goes there. So you've got to scout out those places that are going to have those primers. Because if you want to get into reloading, that might be your biggest complaint as well. I want to get into it, but I can't find primers. Here's the problem. We're so spoiled with instant gratification and Amazon Prime next day delivery that we don't want to take the effort to go out there and find something if we have to. We'd rather complain and say, oh, it's not anywhere. You've gone to your local sporting goods store and that's the only place you check, right?
Well, no. So in addition to this, like you could buy primers and powder online. It's available. The issue is people don't want to buy 5,000 or 10,000 primers.
You don't even have to buy that many. You don't.
Or they don't want to
just by the shipping and hazmat
shipping
fee,
and hazmat to buy 1,000 primers, and all of a sudden you're looking at 120, 134 bucks, 120, 130, 140 bucks for a sleeve of primers. Okay, fine. That's an option, not doing it, but then you're going to have to hit the pavement and look at other places. But if you're like, okay, buy once, cry once, buy 5,000 primers, and depending on how you shoot, you may not have to buy primers for another 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah. Better to have them, and they don't take up a lot of room.
That's where you pull out. Well, that's where you pull out the old credit card. People want to give me crap. I don't care, and it's funny sometimes. But seriously, what you're going to pay in interest, unless you're an idiot and you just don't know how to manage your finances, and you take 5 years to pay off, $125, which whatever. But literally, what you're going to pay in interest is still going to be less than what you're going to pay if you're buying this one sleeve at a time, or you're spending all this money in gas and all this time. My time's worth money. I don't know about your time. My time's worth money. Driving all over looking for this stuff to pick it up, a sleeve here and a sleeve there, or whatever it is. Sometimes it's just like buying that mil-surp and putting it on your credit card. What the value of that mil-surp is going to go up over the next year more than the interest you paying it off over 3 or 4 months. Yeah. Now, if you don't think you're responsible enough to handle credit, I get it. All right. And I don't know what to tell you at that point. Go see a credit counselor, but it's really not that difficult to manage. It's the opposite of putting money away every payday and then just pulling the money out. But that's another thing too, is if you've got that money sitting in savings, it's the same difference. You're like, no, I'm saving this for when my motor blows, or I need a new couch or something. I get that. Yeah. That's what it's there for. But if you've got a good deal, or they're offering free hazmat, you might want to just go ahead and pull some money out of savings, the same way you'd put it on a credit card, right? And just make that big one-time purchase, and you're good to go. Not everybody burns through ammo like Foos.
What's it going to cost me to drive to Kearney, Nebraska to go to Cabela's and come back? That's going to take me 160 miles. Right. That gas price is my hazmat fee. I could just buy it and have it. And here's the thing. If you decide you want to get into reloading, there's a ton of good resources out there. Educate yourself. Go to the Reloaders Network. Go subscribe to the Crazy Scotsman's channel on YouTube. There's a lot of support out there to get you. I'm always encouraging people to do it. I mean, I've only actually sat down and reloaded myself just a handful of times, but what I did do produced enough batches that I was happy with what I was able to do. Not to mention the therapeutic side effects of reloading, where it's almost like a meditation session, because you're so focused on what you're doing. You get done, you're like, man, that was relaxing, Yeah.
Another thing too, black powder. Okay, people have been complaining that the black powder is either trickling in or it's just not available. GoX was supposed to go back on the store shelves about now, and I still haven't seen it, so I don't know what's going on there. I got in contact with them last year, and then I tried to get in contact with them later in the year, and they just ghosted me, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But you can make your own black powder. It's not illegal to do. There are plenty of videos on how to buy the materials and make it yourself. It's a pain in the butt for some of us, right, who don't feel like spending a Saturday making up a batch of this stuff, but you can make your own black powder if you want to. Percussion caps have been here and there. Like when I went with you to Shields, Travis, and they didn't have caps, and then a month later I was in Lincoln, and then they did have caps at Shields, and that's the thing. Go to your store on a somewhat regular basis. You might find them. Yeah. A lot of people are complaining that CCI
go during the week before the crowd show up, when they're restocking during the week, Yeah.
If you can slip out on a lunch break, or stop on the way home or on the way into work or something like that. If you've got these big box stores, people have been complaining that CCIs are available and Remingtons haven't been available. I've seen both. Yeah. But the Remingtons fit better. But from the black powder side, a lot of people don't like Pyrex. I don't have an issue with Pyrex. But that's unless you want to make your own, you've got to keep your feelers out there, because if you've got a notification set up with like Graf and Sons or something for black powder, when it comes into stock, you might get that notification, and before you've logged on, Foos has bought all of it. So
dang, sport shooters. So I think there's one thing that we can all agree on, whether we have ammunition for our guns or not. We definitely need a place to set our guns. There's no better place to set your firearm than an RNLDisplay.com firearm stand. Now, just for the record, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but they make fantastic fine wood display furniture for your fine firearms. So check them out over at RNLDisplays.com. And if you use the discount code TravisP11, you're going to get 10% off. And because I love you all so much, we're going to give you an extra 5% off. You will save 15% off your order if you go to RNLDisplays.com and you use a discount code Travis P11. Squib, do you have a discount code with those guys? I feel like I'm always stealing your thunder. Do you have an RNL Displays discount code or not? I think Squib ran off to go get a cup of coffee because he's like, oh, he's going to give us the RNLDisplays.com pitch. So, all right. So, Single Shot, you with us? Are you all fueled up?
Yeah, we got it done. We got it done.
All right. So, quick question. What's your thought on just ammo reloading? Where are we going with this, man? What do you think?
Well, it's always economical decision to make your own ammunition. You customize it to the weapon that you're shooting, which is more than likely going to play out so that it's more accurate than my own bullets. So yeah. I'm not gonna dump a whole ton of money into anything but primers and powder. I got brass. I got plenty of that.
So. In addition with that, tailoring your ammo to your gun is you could sit there and, if velocity, if you don't care about that, you could sit there and add and subtract powder to make sure your gun shoots the way you want it.
That's right.
Instead of,
good way.
Instead of, I'm going to go out here, Remington core like 150 grain projectile. Well, that batch may be cool, but then you go back, months or a year later or whatever, buy it again. It's a different batch. You have no idea where that round's going to be going.
Yeah. A good rule of thumb is if you're buying primers, powder, bullets, get it all the same lot number. That way, if you're running into that situation, that variation, you're going to have all the same lot number to work with. Yeah. And that's what I will usually try to do. Match that lot number.
And here's the thing too, something to consider. If you do go to the range and stuff, or even if you're kind of dabbling or considering the idea of reloading, start keeping your brass, start holding on to it, get some little ammo boxes to dump it in. If the range you work at doesn't, they let people police their own brass like mine, they don't require you to leave it. Go pick it up, search it, look at it. I mean, or you just collect your own, because it'll start to pay for itself quick. Shotgun people, if you go onto Facebook, I got a mech shot shell reloader with a bunch of components and stuff for like $60 used. So you can get yourself, if you're a shotgunner, you do a lot of shooting, you're a clay pigeon shooter, blue rock shooter, whatever, trap shooter, you can get yourself set up on that for not a whole lot of money. I got myself all set up in reloading shotgun ammo for maybe $200. And when I make my first batch of 1,000 rounds, I'm going to more than break even on what I'm making. And I'm using good holes. That's using like Winchester Super X holes. So, I mean, it's something to think about doing, especially if you're buying it new. Just take the 5 minutes and pick up your brass. You need the exercise anyway. Pick it up, put it in the box, and then try and save your 5.56 rounds. And then you might be surprised with how easy it is to really get. Once you get set up for it, you go through a couple hours of setup, you're smooth sailing. You're up and running.
Well, save your brass, save your boxes, save your trays, your liners, everything. Save it.
All that stuff can be reused.
Put that back into.
The cheapest way to get once fired brass is to buy it. Buy it new, shoot it, because by the time you buy your once fired brass, buy your primers, buy your projectile, buy your powder, that is going to be really close to buying, the same number of made rounds. Because I mean, so with reloading, yes, primers could be, cheaper, powder could be cheaper. All this stuff could be cheaper, but what it is, it's that brass that really saves the money, because you could reuse it X amount of times, depending on what it is, almost an infinite amount of times.
I mean, here's the thing, here's the way I see it. You might say, we don't save no money reloading 9mm. I do 9mm hollow points, like 127 grain, whatever. Squib gave me some gold dots. I've got some Hornadies, right? I'm reloading, or I'm making my own, 9mm hollow points that are pretty stout rounds. And I've got an AKV that's hungry that uses a lot of 9mm. I'm able to reload those hollow points for like maybe 35 cents a round. So for less than half the price of buying a box of critical defense or hollow point ammo, I'm paying way less than that in the end. And every time I rerun my brass, I'm saving even more money. So the point is, we're not trying to make it a reloading discussion, but consider it, because, and also the kits themselves have gone down in price. You're not paying double or triple for, the parts that we were paying before. So get out there and get some. So, go ahead.
And even in today's primer prices and powder prices and everything, I'm still shooting 9mm at about 18 cents a round. In the good times, I was making 9mm for 9.5 cents a round.
Yeah, when you were selling it, when you were legally selling it, when you had your license and stuff, it was what, $100 for 1,000 rounds of the 120? Was it 124, 125?
No,
What was it?
So I was selling it for 190 or 1,000.
Okay.
My cost to manufacture, because of the brass, I had to get the brass. My cost to manufacture was 12 cents a round.
Okay.
So
yeah, and you take your time, you put your wear and tear on your machines, having to replace dies, the machine that you invested in. I mean, it's, you know, but it was still a very good price, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I got it not so I got into it to help other people shoot. I didn't get into it to make money. If I would have made money, I would have done other stuff. I would have bought a lot cheaper bullet. I would have used different powder. If I really wanted to, I figured out I could have bought everything, and I probably could have drove mine from 12.5 cents per round probably down to about 10 cents a round.
And think about this during pandemic times. I mean, again, it's hindsight's always whatever you want to call it, but I mean, you think of what you could have sold it for during pandemic times and what you could have made had you the components and had you. I mean, you could have been selling it for $25 less per 1,000 than say Federal, but you're still selling it for $150 more per 1,000 than you would have been. And I'm just saying but nobody knew that was going to happen. There's a lot of companies that really took off at that point because of demand, right?
So at the beginning of COVID, I was sitting on about 150,000 primers, something like that. And most of my sales happened at the beginning of COVID. I sold to a local shop there in Arkansas because he was a local shop. He just recently built a range onto his shop. He's like I went in there just to kind of see what he had, and he didn't have ammo. He had a couple guns, like everything was bare. I'm like, hey, I have this. Like, what are your, like, I'm fully insured, fully licensed, everything, showed him everything I had. I'm like, would you be willing to put it on your shelves to keep you going? And he told me that if it wasn't for that, he would have closed in the time that I was still making ammo.
Yeah, brought customers in, right? It supplied them with the demand. Yeah.
Not only that, so he made more per box than I did, and it kept him up and going. He's still there today. I still talk to him. He's told me multiple times, if it wasn't for the ammo and that income, that $5 a box income that he was making off of it, he would have closed. And it was his entire life savings from his retirement from wherever he was in LE went to start that. And he's flourishing now. He's like, if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be here. And that they have a 6 or 8 lane range, the only indoor range probably within 80 miles of the place. Yeah, it goes up 20 yards or 20, 25 yards, something like that. He's like, this wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that $5 a box that I was making from selling your stuff. And it was good stuff. I mean, you guys, several of you guys.
I shot thousands of rounds of it. Literally, probably 3,000 rounds myself.
There was another manufacturer there in town that was selling crappy ammo, like sideways primers, backwards primers, cases that wouldn't gauge, and selling them. Like I was still selling. He was selling it for $20
a box for like 50. Yeah.
This other one was selling it for $30 a box.
Yeah.
And wasn't case gauge. Like the shit wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't
fine.
Really
the only issues I had, it was in a G2C, it was a little short. I mean, that my round is a little long for it. The guy's like, okay, he swapped out boxes, gave him the money back. He's like, no worries, I shot it. It's like, no, you're good. And then I went, I'm like, can I borrow a G2C? Yeah, sweet. And I went and I made sure that they started plunk testing. Okay, sweet, awesome. I'm fixed. And then I gave him the gun back, and that was the last issue I had.
All right, so I do have to start wrapping up here. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of stuff going on today, guys. And again, we've got a good. Tony gave us a cool topic suggestion for next week. We'll take a look at Ruger Marlin, take a look at the old Marlins, the new Marlin, what's coming out, what's out there, what are our thoughts on it. 336s should be hitting the shelves any day now, and we'll kind of have that discussion. So that might be a fun one. Look at the lever guns. We haven't had a lever gun chat probably 6 months. So 500 Magnum has a question for all of us to answer. What is your favorite revolver caliber and semi-auto caliber for carry? Mine is 357 Magnum and 45 ACP. I'll start.
What's the question? Sorry.
What is your favorite revolver caliber and semi-auto caliber for carry? Mine's 357 Magnum and 45 ACP. Favorite revolver caliber for me is 357 Magnum. I love me some 44 Mag, but I can shoot 357 Mag all day. For carry, oh man, my first pistol was a G20 and 10 millimeter, but I don't have a carry 10 millimeter. I would like one. I wish Glock would make a single stack 10 mil. I'd buy it. I know you're gonna say, what's the point? It doesn't matter. It's not the point. I'm just gonna say for carry calibers, I'm just gonna go 9, just because of just how much advancement we have in ammunition selection, caliber choices. I still think the 9 millimeter hollow point or your defensive grade ammo can still be a lethal round. It can still serve its purpose if it needs to. So 357 mag and a revolver and 9 millimeter for carry. I know G-Webs. G-Webs is just like melting right now, thinking I just got to get rid of this guy. How can he be a 9 fan? All right, Foos, what about you?
Revolver to shoot.
Yeah, yes. Revolver
38
caliber.
38 special.
Okay, cool. It's pleasant. Does the job. Yeah.
Yeah, that and again, if you're reloading it, you could, if you have I have a 357 revolver, I could load some hot 38s and be just fine. So you could play around. Like I have some 38s that coming out of a rifle, a lever action, it feels like a 22.
Yeah.
And then I could have some stuff that's hot. And then like 9 mil.
Okay.
I mean, if anyone does not say 9 mil these days for the carry option, then you have their head examined.
Hey, dude, I love me from some 40 Smith & Wesson. 40 Smith Gold Dots are a potent round. I mean, that's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
They all work, but they're all the difference between their function is almost nil now. So yeah, you're gonna have a little more hard barrier penetration with 40 and 45 ACP, but I would rather have rounds.
Exactly. Correction on my part here. Tony said I didn't say lever. Okay, no, it wasn't going to be a lever gun chat specifically. I'm just saying we're going to take a look at Marlin Ruger, see where we think that things are going to go. Look at what's currently in production right now. Maybe take a look at some of those Ruger Marlins that are now making it out there into the wild. Kind of take a look what's available. Maybe discuss. Tony, give me some ideas. What else should we add on the topic? Maybe talk about what would be cool. Maybe if Marlin would get these guns back into production that they haven't made for a while. Maybe with Ruger they will. Maybe with Ruger they'll start to take off and get into some of these older Marlin models that we haven't seen for a while because they've been out of production for whatever reason. So yeah. So just correction on my part. Right? I'm just going to say it's not just going to be lever gun chat. I mean, I want to take a look at Marlin in general, where it's been, where it's going, and just because I'm a huge fan of their guns. All right. Okay, moving on. Squid Load, your favorite revolver caliber and your favorite carry caliber, whether you conceal or not conceal. What do you think?
Favorite revolver caliber, probably 36. Carry caliber, probably 45 ACP.
I'd say 45 ACP. Man, I love carrying my 1911, my Ruger SR 1911. Man, that's such a, and you do have a good ammo selection. Squib, what do you think about the idea of hollow points in 45 ACP or going anything but ball for 45 ACP? Is that a waste of time? Is there any bonus to carrying like a defensive grade 45 ACP round versus straight up ball ammo or not? What do you think?
Sure.
Oh,
defensive.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a critical defense or something with a poly tip, or is there a hollow point? Is it? Can you really benefit from those types of projectiles with 45 ACP?
Yeah, there's still expansion. It may not go from a 355 to a 45 46 of an inch expansion. It's not going to be like you're going to gain 50% on it. But it's, a round nose is just going to kind of punch straight through anything that you could open up bigger than that 0.452 or 451 of an inch. the 45 ACP, the better. I mean, it's just all better.
So Squib, question for you: carry ammo for 45 ACP? Do you just ball ammo it, or do you have something different? Do you hand load for that at all, or anything in particular? I was just curious. I didn't know because I mean, I'm a big fan of 45 ACP. I just didn't know if you do. No.
He's upset that everyone doesn't carry a 1911 with 7+1.
Hey, dude, I trust my SR 1911 to the end of time. No, I was just curious. I was just going to see. I was just because we never really gotten into a discussion on 45 ACP. I was just going to check while we're going.
I carried a Remington R1 for a year and a half as I shot it in competition.
Yeah,
that's whenever I first got into it. Got into shooting.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Single shot. What are your thoughts then? Favorite revolver caliber and favorite carry caliber.
Favorite revolver caliber is 44 Magnum.
454 Magnum.
And no, the 44 Mag.
44 Magnum. Stout round, baby. I love
44
it.
44 Mag. Yes, sir. And carry semi is my 40. I like my M&P 40.
Okay. So cool, man.
But yeah, you can get some nice bullets for 45 ACP. They've got the Federal Hydroshock and the XTP Hornady, and both of those are real good. The best out of the whole bunch, as far as penetration is concerned, is that Federal Hydroshock.
So there's a Federal that I carry that's, I don't know what it is. I'll have to go back and look at my channel. I haven't done HSTs, but there's a Federal round that I shoot that's like a powder, like a poly-coated blue bullet, but it has like a dimple in it. So it's kind of like a hollow point. I guess I hadn't really watched any expansion stuff on it, but I'd shot that through it, and then basically just ball ammo, and that's it, because I just keep balling, and that gun's actually locked up in the gun safe. I don't keep that as a bedside gun. I love it, but I have other firearms that I keep as bedside guns. But I've tested it with just some different varieties of ball ammo. I've only had one FTE, and that was it. And the whole time that I've shot that thing, and it could have been a mag issue, it could have been me, it could have just been the gun. I mean, it could have just been the round itself. I mean, and the ammo I was shooting through the 45 in my last SR 1911 video that I did, where I showed off the new grip panels that I put on it. That ammo was like 5 years old at that point, so who knows, Yeah.
They had a Class 3 shoot. That's back when Federal Hydroshock and the Black Talon was available. Class 3 shoot involves a lot of law enforcement, and what we did is we did penetration tests on that ammunition. They set up a dummy, approximately 180 pounds, with heavy clothing on, and they actually tested this ammunition for penetration to go through a car door into the test dummy and see how far that thing was going to penetrate. They used ballistic gel. The one that took the whole thing as far as penetration was concerned was a 45 ACP Federal Hydroshock. That thing went through the car door, through the heavy clothing, and they found the bullet lodged halfway through the test dummy.
Okay.
Now,
I need to run some out through my 1911. Yeah.
I don't think there's too much of anything nowadays that will penetrate like that. So if you're law enforcement, you want to stop somebody in a car, that's the one.
Yeah. Or go critical duty, because that's designed to go through barrier penetration and stuff like that in various calibers. So cool. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Unfortunately, we have to end this one a little bit early, so we'll have a discussion next week. I want to take a look at what Ruger's going to be coming out, see what's out there, check some prices, maybe look and decide, would it be better just to go, pre-Ruger Marlin, or even, Freedom Group 336, because those prices are going up now. Any predictions on what we think, these guys are going to be asking
pre-72 Winchester.
There you go. That works too. Yeah, maybe talk about some viable alternatives if you don't want to wait or pay scalping prices for these Ruger, inspired or built Marlins. What should a person do? Because I'm also looking at the prices of these new Marlins that are coming out, the SBLs or whatever, the Trapper or whatever they call them, and people are just paying ridiculous. They're asking like 30-40% over MSRP for some of these. It'd be like $1,000 MSRP and it's going for $1,500. So I think that it's just, supply and demand. I think it's going to be years before we see those things. They even tell me at the local Shields.
Trade him your Benelli.
My Benelli? You mean my Beretta?
Your Beretta M300. Trade him straight up.
Possibility. I'll ask him. I ask him in Shields, like, do you guys ever get any Henry 3030s in at all, or any old 336s on trade? He goes, they're on the shelf for about an hour. So there's a demand there. There is a day. He goes, they'll disappear within a day. So anywho, we'll see how things go. I'll kind of take a look at the lineup, and maybe we'll start to see some more 336 videos popping up other than just what was at SHOT Show. I'm excited. I know I want one. I still regret selling. I traded my 336, and I don't regret the trade, but I miss not having a 336 around just because, and I've got a Henry right now. And I just about bought a Henry last week in a Walmart. They had a non-side gates, the Legacy series, just standard Henry 3030 for $738. So temptation was there, but I want a side gate loader if I get one, just because of ease of loading. So anywho, guys, all right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So let's go ahead and just bring it around the horn. So let's see, Foos, I want to thank you for being here today. And Defense Dad was with us a little bit earlier. He's got a busy day today too, so he wasn't with us. But more information on Thunder of the Prairie is going to come out there. Real quick, just want to share this with you. We do have a merch page that's out there, and I'll try to put it in the description box down below. So one thing is kind of funny. Thunder on the Prairie 2023, our gathering of YouTubers, that also just happens to be an event that's going to happen in Nebraska. So if you do a search for Thunder on the Prairie 2023 and it comes up as a draft horse show, that's not us, okay? We're all draft horses in this community, but that's going to be a horse show. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find Thunder on the Prairie 2023 merch. And this is what some of the stuff is going to look like. It's kind of cool. This is the logo that Gizzard Gary designed for us. What really looks cool is when you check it out on some of the other shirts, like they have wraparound designs. It kind of has like kind of a cool like jersey kind of feel to it. We got the stickers. So this is Gizzard Gary's design, by the way. I really like the bucket hat's kind of cool. They got the logo spread around on it. Sweatshirts, duffel bags. Now, I don't want to hear anybody complaining about the prices, because Teespring, they set a price and they say, how much money do you want to make off the product? What percentage do you want? Right now, whatever that sale price is, I'm going to make 10% off that sale price before tax. And I intend on sharing that with Defense Dad, because this is also Defense Dad's idea too. So I might make $2 off a t-shirt, $2.40 pre-tax. Take out my 22% income tax from it, I might make $2. So I'm not making bank off this Thunder in the Prairie merchandise. I just want to get it out there so people can buy it. So I'll post that link for you guys one more time. If you want to buy stuff from it, support the event, feel free to do so. If you click on the top, you can check out the Travis P apparel that's up there. And I haven't sold a Teespring shirt in years. So it is kind of cool, but it does get expensive. But if you look at any gun tuber that sells merch, they're pushing $40 a t-shirt, just so you know, $35 to $40. That's not uncommon. So if you click on the link right there, you guys can find it. If you're interested, you can get that stuff in various colors. I think I'm set for 3 colors right now. They only let you put 3 out initially when you push out a line. I think it's so they can be focused on what they want to sell. So I've got white, charcoal, and purple for the color options for the Thunder on the Prairie merch that's out there right now in terms of the shirts, maybe the sweatshirts and hoodies. So anywho, that's it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Final thoughts, any feelings on ammo before we end this one? Squid Load, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, before I say my final thoughts on ammo, I've had Thunder on the Prairie merch setting in my cart the entire show, and it didn't time out, unlike some of these other. So here we go. Credit card information is loaded. Place order with my discount of $5.80, by the way, which kind of counters the shipping.
Yeah, early bird is the discount code to get you 10% off for 30 days. That's offered for like another 2 weeks.
Yep. So if you want to get the merch, get it now, and you can save yourself a little bit of money. So thanks for offering that. And Gary, love the design. That was kind of what I was thinking, but I have no artistic ability, so I didn't even submit anything. So I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, even if you're not attending Thunder on the Prairie, it might be kind of interesting just to have something like that on your reload bench, and then people can say, "What is that?" You know. As far as final thoughts on the whole ammo thing, here's the deal: if you're complaining about the cost of ammo, if you're complaining about availability of certain calibers, if you're complaining about the expense of trying to get into reloading to offset it, here's a thought. Work on your marksmanship. You don't need as much ammo if you can actually hit the target. If all you want to do is go to the range to throw lead down range, you're buying a case of steel case every Sunday, and you're just, turning everything but the target into Swiss cheese, and that is how you get your rocks off. So be it. That's your right as an American, and that's fine. But then when you come to me and you say how much ammo costs, to be like, you didn't even hit the target. I see this at my range. I see these guys out there. You can tell that they don't know anything because they pull their AR-15 out of the cardboard box that says Palmetto State Armory. It doesn't even have sights on it. They got their case of ammo, and they're just high-fiving each other. And at 25 yards, they can't even hit it. They can't hit a 12-inch circle at 25 yards. Probably because they don't have sights on their gun yet. So, I can understand certain people, if you're training, if you do competitive shooting, things like that, still complaining or still sore about the prices. But if you work on your marksmanship, you don't need to shoot as much to be able to hit the target.
I agree. What they should do is come to Thunder on the Prairie 2023, and we can teach them how to shoot, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I don't know that I'd be able to teach anybody how to do anything other than complain.
You're a good shot. Give yourself some credit, man. You hit the target. You grabbed that G17 and you fired it. And you ran that thing like a boss, man. I'm telling you. So
I can hit the target when it counts, and I can hit the target, for a minute of man or whatever your combat accuracy or so. I never claim to be Jerry Mikulik, and the people that want that, so be it. If that's your goal, fine. Just understand you're going to pay through the nose for it. Being able to use the firearm in a defensive situation, or being able to use a firearm if you're a hunter to make going out there and freezing your tail off count and stuff like that. That for me is more practical. I'm more into the practical use. I'm really, if I want to see stunt shooting, I'll go watch somebody who's a lot better shot and who has an ammo sponsor do it, but don't see me out there doing it.
You're the Millennium Falcon of shooters. You got to where it counts, kid. All right. Cool, man. Cool. Good to have you here with us again. All right, Single Shot, any thoughts before we go? Any final words, any plugs you want to get out there? Go right ahead, man.
Yeah, as far as the cost on your ammunition, if you pick up the hobby of casting, that will save yourself a considerable amount of money. Just to have, it's your time and some equipment and materials.
Absolutely.
So, that's a big cost reduction on your ammunition if you're casting 38 or 9mm or 45 ACP, 40, whatever.
I agree.
You can cast those bullets and drop the price of those rounds, say a 45, from 18 or so cents per round down to about 7. So it's a considerable savings. And it gives you something to do on days like today when you're sitting at home,
raging blizzard outside,
just casting your bullets and getting them ready to load.
Absolutely, man. And eventually, whether or not, and the idea is that's not the idea. It's just saving money. That is one aspect of it. That does start to happen as you reuse your cases and so on, and you will. But that's not. Don't get into it because you think you're just going to shoot for pennies on the dollar, because you don't, depending on the load, right? But there's a lot of beneficial reasons why you guys should consider doing it. For me, it's all about therapeutic reasons, the relaxation I get when I focus on one thing for a given period of time, like reloading 50 or 100 rounds, just sitting there doing it. I just got 2 presses that I use, nothing real fast. And so, yeah. Squibble out there says, use the early bird at checkout for 10% off your order over at the Thunder on the Prairie website. I'll make a formal video for that, but I want to wait till Defense Ed and I get more information ready. We'll do like a couple TOTP videos out there to let people know like what it is, where it's going to be, where to sign up. We'll have the spreadsheet link for you guys up there. So if you want to sign up, if you're going to attend the event, you can get yourself a time to do your filming if you want to. So it'll be kind of a first come, first serve deal for Sunday. So it should be a good time. Two mic drop comments of the day. The first one was from G-Webs, where he said if we'd all stop shooting 9mm, it would free up all that brass and lead for more worthy calibers. And I don't disagree with him. It would definitely I'm thinking how much more lead and brass would be out there. How many more primers would be out there if we didn't shoot 9? If all we shot was 40 or 10 or 357 SIG or 45 gap or 5.7, right? Oh man. And then Tony York with the second mic drop comment of the day. Y'all should have bought ammo and reloading supplies in 2019 when I was harping on y'all to do so. It's true. It's true. Like I said, it just took a friend to kick me along here to get me into reloading, and it's now an addiction. So thanks, Squib. My bank account thanks you.
It's peer pressure, man. It's high brain over. It's peer pressure.
It's adult peer pressure is what it is. It's reloading. It's once you start doing it, man, it's a lot of fun. So, and when you get done with it, you feel like you've accomplished something. Yeah.
I definitely second Tony's comment.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Or if y'all would have watched my video and how much it actually costs to get in a 9mm, you could have seen how much cheaper all that stuff was back then versus what you're going to pay now. And I mentioned the various benefits, the fact you can have ammo when you need it, you can tailor your hand loads, you can reload, say 9mm hollow points for half the cost of buying it off the shelves. But y'all didn't listen. I tried. It's not your fault. The algorithm didn't push me out there. I haven't hit, grand thumb levels of popularity yet, so you probably don't even know who I am. Chances are you've seen my video though. So, yep. Don't know if it's going to happen. All right, so let's give a shout out on the YouTube side. Who's joining us? Bjorn says, I've been reloading for over 10 years. Bjorn, that's awesome. Gizzard Gary out there. Tony York, Squid Load, Squib Lift, the whole Squib Empire's in the house. The whole Squib family's out there chatting today. Wild Things watching today. Tacos and French fries. Eduardo Espinosa is watching us. 500 Magnum. Let's see. Tony York throwing some knowledge. YNH is out there. Patriot in the Dark watching today. Let's see who else is watching with us here. Vanessa Kitty in the house. We did have some Mountain View watching today, and also M. Gabriel, Scott 79. I think my mom was out there making some comments telling me that apparently I got a birthday coming up, so I guess I'm going to age another year here very soon. G-Web's in the house. E-Coda. Good crew today. Lots of good chats, lots of good discussion out there also. We did, let's see, Bjorn and Freda were out there today too. Just real quick, and Watch 75. Comments there, we did close the poll. And the poll said that, are you fine with the prices we pay for ammo today? 57% of you said no. 25% of you said yes and no. It could be worse. Like you're happy to get it when you can, but no, the prices could be better. And then 16% of you said, I'm fine with what I pay for ammo. So I don't know what you're shooting where you're happy paying those prices. I don't know, maybe 22 LR possibly. I don't know.
That was me.
Oh, you're that 16%. Yeah, I'm fine because I don't have to buy ammo. That's why I'm happy with the prices that are out there, right? Y'all should have learned, man. Y'all should have learned. All right, so that's it. This has been season 5, episode number 272. Thank you for joining us on the finest quality of life improvement podcast on all of the internet. Make sure you guys check out Squid Load's channel and Single Shot's channel. Get over there, like and subscribe. Show them some love. Otherwise, I think that's it. So I'm probably forgetting something. But I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. Get out to the range. Do some shooting. Police your brass. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Alicia. People,
hey, Alicia, get the credit card. Get the credit card, Alicia. Get the credit card. Let's go buy.